Hello everybody. This will be a video similar to my reindeer video, but slightly different because I will be way more organized and I will be way more coherent than I was in that one. This time we are talking about Rainbow Remix options. Wahoo! Now, they seem simple enough, but I believe that some of them are so fucking overpowered and strong that playing without them is actively handicapping yourself. The only options I will not include are the ones from the major assets section, because come on, this is just cheating at this point, and the ones from more Slugcats expansion, because not everyone has ascended to the Downpour universe and became a Downpourian, and also Rainbow Remix will probably be applicable to Watcher as well. So I'm future-proofing this video a tiny bit, even if some of the bugs that I will showcase with these options might be patched or the options might be improved, I don't know. First off, shoutouts to Timby for providing some of the footage used in this video. If you like this video, then please rate it, give me a comment and subscribe to me, because I might actually start doing YouTube way more than I was doing. I would appreciate it. But enough dilly-dallying, time to lock in. Now, I will be separating the options I'm going to talk about into three major sections. Quality of life, which change only a few minor things or a single thing, and it's either mostly relating to information which you could get anyway from the game itself, or it's so insignificant that it barely does anything. Minor assists, which are strong for very specific scenarios or are limited to one or a few Slugcats, but are generally not impactful enough to change how you play most of the game. And last is major assists, which change how you play the game, are strong in a lot of scenarios, and unlock entirely new ways to deal with situations, and generally just simplifies interactions in the game. And please keep in mind that this is not a tier list or a list from worst to best, this is just a block of options where I talk about their best case use scenario and why I think some of them are very strong for what they do on the surface. So first off, quality of life. I will speed through these because they are generally weaker and less impactful than the ones later on and don't need as much explanation. Stronger bottomless spit gradient. Makes the gradient signifying bottomless spit slightly stronger, which can be useful for newer players. Underwater shortcuts. An overlay change where you can see some entrances and pipes easier underwater. Visual breath meter. This one is kind of special because I nearly moved it to minor assists. What it does is it just gives you this little bar, yeah? And it shows your Slugcat's breath. So you can make way more calculated decisions about when to surface for air and if you can actually afford to swim further. It also shows the purpose of bubbleweed, because when you have bubbleweed, this bar disappears, signifying that you have infinite breath till the bubbleweed runs out. And also, while you usually can see the progress of your Slugcat's breath based on them wiggling around and struggling, you cannot if you are crawling in an underwater pipe. So that's very helpful right there. Fast map reveal. Simply reveal the map fast when you look at it. Faster shelter opening. If you come from a hibernation screen or death screen, it saves you 8.5 seconds. Literally the most quality of life option there is. Reduce screen shaking. It gives you slightly more visual clarity because instead of shaking the entire screen, only does the slight camera tilt, which can be useful, but there are simply not enough scenarios where the screen shakes. Increased stun time. Now this one is special, because you would assume it's overpowered, right? More stun time from spears, explosives, electricity, rocks. Nah. The only thing it affects is if you throw rocks at yeeks, lantern mice and skutkeras, and it doubles stun time from snails. This is the only thing which didn't get this option booted off the list entirely, because stunning skutkeras for a longer period of time can be useful for new players. The doubled stun from snails can also be useful for new players. And last one is Hunter auto-grab a Batfly, which can save you in certain situations where you need to pick up spears but pick up a Batfly instead. It's just... Which leads me to the next option in minor assists, also relating to Hunter no stealing back spear. Now, this one is useful and rated above all the rest because as Hunter you have immediately angry scavengers from the start of the campaign, and even an unarmed scavenger can steal your back spear and kill you at the moment's notice. And even then, friendly scavengers will steal your back spear if they are allowed to. Loading screen tips and extra tutorials. I bunched both of these together into minor assists because they basically do the same thing, which is give new players a bunch of information they would have to learn otherwise. Now, loading screen tips are random, but they teach you so many things from movement to how to survive, to hinting at an enemy behavior, to just... It's actually insane how much information this can give you if you get lucky enough with what it shows you. And extra tutorials is mainly here because of its more subtle use of hints, where if you, for example, grab a spore path for the first time, it will show you a tooltip telling you to experiment with every item you find, which obviously would lead you to experimenting with the spore path, and then finding out you can use it to lure and ride reindeer. Passage progress without survivor. It's useful because it allows you to gain 3 specific passages earlier than survivor, which is the Dragon Slayer, the Friend, and the Wanderer. The reason that is useful is because survivor can be very hard on the consistency for some people. Now, there is one bug with it, and that is that the Nomad is gained early if this specific option is turned off for some reason. Stronger climbing grip. Now, this one just eliminates an extra input you have to do every time you throw an item from a pole, which is just an up input immediately after throwing to readjust yourself. But this can be very, very useful for newer players in, for example, Sky Islands, Chimney Canopy, or the exterior. While this will get burnt into your muscle memory if you play without it, playing with it also helps you. Jetfish item protection. Now, this one used to be way better because it prevented you losing items from all kinds of stunts, but right now they fixed it and it's back to only being jetfish. It helps you in shoreline and the waterfront facility mainly by causing you to not lose your items whenever a jetfish bumps into you. And here is our protagonist, Gourmand. He is carrying his favorite pearl all the way from outer expanse to moon. Let's see how he does in this tragedy. He's paddling, and oh my god, there is a jetfish. Oh no, it crashes into him. Oh no, he drops everything. Please, Gourmand, and he's drowning himself. Please, this is a children's show, don't do this. Key item tracking. It helps by both showing you the key items on a map when you are near them, and it also helps by when you drop your key item into a void or accidentally leave it outside of a shelter, it will not disappear forever. It will actually stay there until you come retrieve it, which is very handy because you have to be way less worried about losing your items forever. Colored Pearls, Spearmaster's Pearl, and Rivulet's Cell are all counted as key items. Tweaked Deer AI. Now, this one makes deer a lot more consistent and lets you turn them around by spamming the keys, which, you know, is really helpful because these assholes are inconsiderate for your needs. But also, enabling it disables one important glitch for speedrunning, which is Deerscape. Okay, it's a double-edged sword yet again. But overall, it's very good because I fucking hate these creatures! Scavenger Kill Squad Leniency. After entering a region or hibernating, scavengers cannot form kill squads for 2 minutes, and they don't know your location till they directly see you. Hey goons, have you seen this asshole? He has killed some of our good men. And I demand his head on a pike delivered to me. But boss, he has enabled NordVPN, so we cannot track down his home location, and we cannot see him till he sees us. Both Monk Extended Breath and Extra Light Assists. These are both being thrown together for one purpose, that's because they both buff Monk in very specific areas. Underwater Breath gives him more breathing time than Survivor, so that means it's good for drainage system and other underwater regions, while Extra Light Assists mainly helps him in Shaded Citadel, maybe Exterior and Subterranean as well. It's just making an easy campaign already a lot easier. And both the buffs are pretty generic as well, so that's that. Wiggle Out of Grasps. This one is another one which is weaker than it initially seems. because on the surface it lets you wiggle out of pole plants, monster kelps, spiders, lizard stonks, and the rot, but in reality, the most useful application of this is probably for the lizard tongues, because the mash to get out of rot tentacles is insanely hard to pull off. And when it comes to spiders, again, it only lets you wiggle out of those weird half bites they do when they latch onto you. It's just weird. And for pole plants and monster kelp, I guess it could be useful for them as well. And lastly, for this tier are slug senses. Slug senses let you see mobs around you in a general area on the map. While this doesn't apply to some ambush mobs like dropwicks and white lizards when they are hidden, it's still a very useful tool for when you want to see what's around you, and it works even in darkness, for example. Slug senses also has the neat feature of letting you see when a threat is dead by tilting the icon a tiny bit. So, you know, that's useful. But it goes from a minor assist to major assist when you combine it with another option, which is in major assists by itself, and that is visual threat pulse. Now, visual threat pulse is this high up because it allows you to see when threats are coming even in regions where there are no threat themes, and it even gives you that information before a threat theme pops up. It's faster than a threat theme, and it's everywhere, unlike threat themes. And combined with slug senses, which allows you to see literally what is hunting you or what is in the room with you, it's literally the most overpowered information providing combo in the game. And the only shortfall of it is when the person who's using it doesn't know how to use it. So that's why I am here, your kind and benevolent Calvus, your benevolent content creator, you could say, telling you how to use this. Threat visual pulse gives you from 0 to 5 pips depending on how much danger you are in. If there is 1 pip, then that usually means that there is danger in the room somewhere, but it's not very high tier. 2 pips means that it's usually either high tier danger or a low tier danger is near you. And of course the danger spikes whenever the threat is hunting you. So you can differentiate this by spiders are kind of in the middle, slow lizards are kind of on the bottom, high tier threats like vultures, king vultures, red lizards, centipedes are very high up on the totem pole. And of course you get a threat theme even if the threat is hidden, such as dropwicks or white lizards. Now, I'm not exactly the best person at the game, but my overall thought process when using this is this. First, check the initial screen where I am for any threats. Then check the map to see if there are any creatures immediately around me. Then as I'm traveling across the room, constantly check on the threat pulse to see if any of the threats is either coming closer or if it spikes, what is hunting me. And depending on that, of course, I will decide if I want to fight or escape. Now, there are a few quirks with it, such as it's sometimes pausing when a neutral or friendly creature is around you, or comes into the room with you, which, you know, can be sorta more annoying than anything, because, you know, oh hey, I know I have Chieftain, I know scavengers follow me, why do you give me threat pulse when you're not threatening? Oh yeah, and dead creatures also give off threat pulse, such as, you know, when you kill this vulture, oh hey, suddenly I have permanent tier 2 threat pulse the entire time I'm in this fucking room. Good job, Video Cult. Good job. Hey, guess what? What? Poke 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 poke. Increased throwing trajectories. This option unlocks up throws and both up throws and down throws in zero gravity movement. Up throws aren't usually that useful apart from stunning a vulture or a dropwick or something, or doing these weird corner jumps which are kinda practical to pull off, but if you want to do them, then be my guest, I guess. I like them. I like them. But the big, juicy part of extra throwing trajectories is the zero gravity movement. The fact that you can now throw up or down to boost or stop yourself at your will is pretty damn nuts. Because, you know, you can just... usually you would have to do 10 tail whips or so to stop yourself. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating a little, but... it's a lot... it takes a lot longer to stop yourself with regular movement than it does with just throwing 2 items. Pulse pierce from walls. Artificer can do this by default, but others like cats can't. Blowing spears from walls is stronger than it seems because it saves up on your resources and makes fights a lot more consistent if you are fighting near a wall, because you don't lose the spear upon getting it stuck. No, you can pull it out and then continue on fighting. It's actually a very useful resource saving ability. The only time you actually ever lose a spear like this is if you actually accidentally throw it into the void, which, I'm sorry, that's just on you. Ladies and gentlemen, here I present you the fight between a pink lizard and the hunter. Who will win? Hunter threw his spear into the wall, he's running around like an idiot, and oh no, he got caught. But in an alternate timeline, if he had downloaded Raid Shadow Legends, the sponsor of this video, it might have gone differently. Look at the pure astounding strength he gathered from playing Raid Shadow Legends every day on his phone. Vanilla exploits. Now this is a deep and long one because it enables multiple exploits from before Downpour was added. But the three main ones I will be talking about is Karma Caching, Multi-Spawns, or Guardian Skip. Guardian Skip is useful for speedruns because you don't have to gather Karma Latent before entering the depths. And if you don't have this enabled and you try it, by bypassing the Guardians, by blinding them or killing them or whatever, then you will see that you cannot enter the pipe. It's physically blocking you all, which is kind of stupid, but I guess it works. But if you have it enabled, you will be able to pass through just fine, after killing the Guardians and getting past them. Now Karma Caching. This exploit is probably the most useful one in the entire game. It makes it so much easier. You perform it by starving, then upon arriving in the star cycle, you immediately quit out and reload into the save. You will be back before you starved, but you will keep the karma, which means you can basically gather infinite karma like this. Very useful for echoes and going in between regions. And the last one is multi-spawns. If you enter a region for the first time and then starve, you will double the spawns. But if you enter that region for the first time multiple times in a single cycle, for example, if I go here into exterior and from exterior into chimney canopy, then chimney canopy to Skylands, then I circle all the way back around into industrial and go into chimney canopy again. I've entered it twice for the first time in a single cycle. That means it will now be double spawned. But if I start on top of that, it will be triple spawned. And I can prove this by going all the way here, up to the pole plants, and see there are 3 in a single den. And this applies to all dens in the region. I had to mention it because, while it's detrimental for normal players, it's actually very good for score running, which is a big part of the competitive game. Wall pouncing. You can wall pounce if you have higher speed than your walking speed, and then also press jump right at the same time as you touch a wall. It's not very intuitive, and most of the time it's actually not that useful, but there are spots all over the game where it can be used. But there are also movement alternatives to wall pounce. So overall, it's just in a weird spot where it serves everyone, kind of. It can be good in certain situations. I decided to put it here because it does change the way you play. Key items on passage. Whenever you passage, you take all key items with you to the shelter you are passaging to. Rather simple, but it can be used to exploit some things. It lets you pretty much skip rivulets or Spearmaster's second half of the campaign if you are really into that, I guess. And the second bigger thing which is actually used for is making pearl collection runs go a lot faster by just letting you collect all the pearls in a more central location, such as chimney canopy or industrial complex, then passaging with all those pearls to shoreline, instead of bringing all the pearls to shoreline every single time. No randomized cycle duration. Now this is another rather simple one, but it basically makes every single cycle you play the longest possible length it can be, which is usually 13 minutes. I don't even know what I can add to this. This is just 13 minutes every single cycle. You don't have to worry about time that much, and you can just do your own stuff. It's useful for pretty much everyone. I think you get my point. It's good. And now, the last one, Centipede Bite Protection. Calling this one major because it basically nerfs centipedes so hard that they are basically a different creature from what they were. Let me give you an example. If you fought a centipede and it latched onto you, you could not just escape it with a pipe camp. You had to get it off you by throwing your spear into it. And if you went through the pipe while it was attached to you, well, good luck, bucko, you just got electrocuted frame 1. But with the option enabled, pipe camping centipedes is a legitimately good strategy. The centipedes went from being the only unpipe campable mob to being pipe campable like the rest. I think this should have been baked into the game in the first place, but I understand why it wasn't, because centipedes are so much less dangerous where they cannot punish you for pipe camping them. And that is the end of the video. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. But thank you for listening to my rambling again, and I hope you have a good day, hope you subscribe and like, and goodbye.